Hello everyone, welcome back to our news channel. Students, today we have two fascinating news stories for you. First, we'll talk about something that affects our daily lives, but it is rarely discussed: care work, and how the latest union budget of 2025 plans for it. It's about everything from household chores to taking care of the elderly and why it's important for India's future. Then we'll look up at the night sky for a spectacular planetary parade, a rare celestial event where seven planets lined up in a row. We'll find out why this happens and what it tells us about our solar system. So, buckle up because today's episode is going to be both down to earth and out of this world. Let's start with something we see every day but often take for granted: care work. Students, when we talk about work, we usually think of jobs like teachers, doctors, engineers, or shopkeepers. But what about cooking? What about cleaning, washing clothes, taking care of younger siblings, or even fetching water? All of these tasks are unpaid care work, which means they don't earn money but are still essential for families and societies to function. है ना? इसके बारे में हम बात नहीं करते हैं। और ये क्या है? अनपेड केयर वर्क है। क्यों अनपेड क्यों है? Because they don't earn money for that, right? But it is still essential for our society to function. Not just for families, but society, whole society. Question is, why is this a big issue? Students, globally, women spend 17.8%. Yes, you have heard right. 17.8% of their time on unpaid care and domestic work. And when we talk about our country, this percentage is even higher. Many Indian women spend more time doing these household tasks than women in countries like South Africa or China. For example, there's a study conducted, and this study found that 53% of Indian women are not part of the workforce. Reason being, they are busy taking care of their families. And this condition is worse for poor women because in rural areas they spend nearly 17 to 19 hours 17 to 19 hours daily doing household chores, and this makes it hard for them to get a job, earn money, or even pursue an education. Imagine having a school day that lasts 19 hours instead of just 6 or 7. How would you ever find time for anything else? Right? So, this is reality for most of the women in our own country. Okay? Now, let's look at what the Union Budget of 2025 has done about this issue. Students, government has allocated some amount uh, for gender budget. Okay, so government has allocated this much amount to gender budget. Of course, you don't need to remember the exact amount. It's just for you to have a fair idea. So this budget, this allocation, this amount, it focuses on women's development. But here's the catch: most of this money is going towards scheme like PM Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, which provides free food rather than building better infrastructure for care work. Okay, so most of this amount is directly going to this scheme, right? And instead of building care work infrastructure, so so the government will not be able to spend the amount on that. The question is, what is care infrastructure. See, students, more child care centers. For example, care infrastructure का मतलब क्या है? केयर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का मतलब क्या हो सकता है? एक ऐसा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जो केयर प्रोवाइड कराता हो, राइट? तो फॉर कैसे कैसे हो सकते हैं? जैसे चाइल्ड केयर सेंटर्स. Okay, so if there will be more child care centers, women don't have to look after kids all day, है ना? Then they will spend their time in finding job or even pursuing an education. Apart from this, child care infrastructure and other sort of things, it also includes better water supply so that women don't spend hours collecting water, and more toilets, public toilets and sanitation are to be constructed to improve health conditions. So that is what includes in care infrastructure. And budget has also announced that there will be 1 lakh crore urban challenge fund which can help cities develop better care facilities. So if it is used correctly, this money could change the lives of millions of women. Okay? Now, what can be done to improve the situation? See, experts have suggested 3R framework. Okay, so 3R framework, what is it? First is recognize. First R. First R stands for recognize. Recognize what? Acknowledging that unpaid care work exists and measure it through surveys. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि उसको एक्नॉलेज ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, रिकॉग्नाइज ही नहीं कर रहे हैं. सो फर्स्ट आर इज रिकॉग्नाइज. सेकेंड आर इज रिड्यूस. रिड्यूस का मतलब क्या है? कि यूजिंग टेक्नोलॉजी टू रिड्यूस द बर्डन. व्हाट बर्डन? लाइक पाइप्ड वाटर सप्लाई, वॉशिंग मशीन्स एटसेट्रा, है ना? ताकि विमेन पे अनपेड केयर का बर्डन कम हो. Thirdly, redistribute. Redistribute and represent. It means that share care work more equally between men and women. दोनों men and women के बीच में जो care work है वो equally distribute होना चाहिए. Okay. And a great example which is mentioned in this news article is Bogota's केयर ब्लॉक्स इन कोलंबिया. वहां पर क्या होता है? वहां पे जो गवर्नमेंट है वो खुद से फ्री कम्युनिटी किचन, चाइल्ड केयर और हेल्थ केयर प्रोवाइड कराती है विमेन को. तो इंडिया कुड आल्सो फॉलो दिस मॉडल टू मेक अ रियल डिफरेंस, राइट? तो ये सारी चीजें इस वाले न्यूज आर्टिकल में मेंशन है. अब हम जाते हैं दूसरे न्यूज आर्टिकल की तरफ. अब यहाँ पर हम क्या करेंगे? विल लीव द अर्थ बिहाइंड एंड ट्रैवल इनटू स्पेस. व्हाट हैपेंड ऑन February 28? व्हाट हैपेंड? यस, समथिंग अमेजिंग हैपेंड. क्या था? प्लैनेटरी परेड. यस, प्लैनेटरी परेड. आपने परेड देखा होगा 26 जनवरी में, 15 अगस्त में आपने परेड देखा होगा, है ना? तो वैसे ही ये प्लैनेट्स का परेड था. अब हुआ क्या इसमें? Multiple planets, they align in sky in the order of their distance from the sun. Okay, so in February, what happened? 7 planets, they lined up: mercury mercury Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. And the closer planets like Mercury, Venus and Mars were visible to the naked eye. But Uranus and Neptune, since they are so far away, they need a telescope to see. ओके, तो प्लानिटरी परेड दे बेसिकली लाइंड अप, है ना? प्रॉपर एकदम लाइंड अप में, ऑर्डर में विजिबल हुए थे. ओके, अब ये जो इवेंट है ये बहुत अमेजिंग था, खास तौर पे उन लोगों के लिए जो सबके लिए अमेजिंग था, है ना? कि अब आप ऐसे इवेंट कब हमें देखने को मिलता है? हमें डेली तो देखने को नहीं मिलते, राइट? सो दिस इवेंट, द प्लानिटरी परेड विद 3-4 प्लैनेट हैपेंस एवरी few years. Okay, 3-4 प्लैनेट्स एक लाइन में लाइंड अप हो रहे हैं. प्लैनेटरी परेड हमें देखने को मिलता रहता है. बट अ परेड with 7 or 8 planets is extremely rare. And the next major planetary alignment will only happen in the year 2040. 2040 तब तक आपके स्टूडेंट्स जो यंगर स्टूडेंट्स है वो भी कितने बड़े हो जाएंगे, है ना? So this event is quite rare. Question is, why do planetary parades happen? Okay, why do these planets line up like this? See, the answer lies in the ecliptic plane. Imagine that the planets are running on a giant racetrack around the sun. You know, a giant racetrack around the sun. Oh, oops, my handwriting is, my drawing is quite bad. So imagine this is like a racetrack, and all planets are running on giant racetrack around the sun. Since they all are moving in the same plane, sometimes they appear in a straight line. है ना, एकदम स्ट्रेट लाइन में अपीयर होते हैं, जैसे इस इमेज में है ना, जैसे इस इमेज में है. So sometimes they appear in a straight line when it is viewed from Earth. So if planets had different orbits, this would never happen. But because they move in the same plane, we get to see this rare and beautiful event from time to time. Okay, so students, even though planetary parades aren't scientifically significant, they look spectacular and reminds us of the vastness and beauty of our solar system. All right, so before we end, here are some fun facts about today's topics. First, we discussed about the unpaid care economy. So if women's unpaid care work was given a salary, if it is given a salary, it would add billions of dollars to the economy. And studies show that women are part of decision making. When they are part of decision making, policies are 6 to 7 times more effective. This was shown by studies. Okay, this is not just my personal opinion. Okay, this has been shown by studies. Then, regarding planetary parade, see, the largest planetary parade ever recorded involved all 8 planets in the year 2004. So, largest जो planetary parade का हमें देखने को मिला था, वो था कब था? 2004 में. And if you miss the 2040 alignment, you'll have to wait several decades for another one. है ना? तो 2040 का भी अगर हमने मिस कर दिया तो तब तो हमें पता नहीं कितना टाइम लग जाएगा. All right. Now that brings us back. Uh, अब अब हम अगर इस वाले आर्टिकल की बात करें तो यहाँ पर हमने अनपेड केयर इकोनॉमी के बारे में समझा, यहाँ पे हमने स्पेस के बारे में समझा. ओके, तो ये 2 आर्टिकल थे. अब कहने को तो हमने बहुत सारी डिफरेंट चीजों के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, पर ये जो दोनों टॉपिक है स्टूडेंट्स, दे आर इक्वली इंपॉर्टेंट. व्हाई? बिकॉज केयर इकोनॉमी, इट अफेक्ट्स मिलियंस ऑफ पीपल एवरी डे, एंड दीज प्लैनेटरी परेड्स, इट रिमाइंड्स ऑफ our place in the universe. All right, so if you enjoy today's show, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you next time with more exciting stories and news articles. Until then, keep looking at the stars and thinking about the world around you. Bye bye.